period of time where you like not to have huge change of PCO2 and huge change of PO2. That's a moment where you have to be there, or a well-trained nurse. Oh, we see pretty well the vibration. How you did that? Where is it? Ah, there. Look, we will play a little while. Oh, I'm still not high enough to really see something, eh?
The CO2 is increasing, sir.
I'm doing like adult intensivist. Okay, you see the vibration? You will have a look. You will have a look on the chest. No. It's not a good moment because he doesn't like that. Let's wait a little while. 68, 111, 92, 68, 45.
Yes.
You know, that's we start to have something. But you see, we were optimal CDP 17.5. We know 25. So we will do. If you don't mind, I change. I become the doctor.
Yes, sir.
I propose you to drop the CDP to 17 and to see what we could have as changes in pressure, heart rate. So heart rate is 111, saturation 92, 46, and 68 as a blood pressure. Okay, let's go down. I have to change my alarms. You see that? Extremely rapid. So when you suspect overdistension, don't go from 25 down to 24.5 and then down to 24. Decrease. You have to see something. If you don't see something, it's not overdistension. Okay? HFOV does not affect blood pressure as long as you are not overdistending. Okay? That is very important because if you have, and it's quite frequent in PREMs, in small PREMs, you often have low blood pressure. And as you're using optimal lung volume, you're afraid of having a too high CDP. It's rare if you work like I tell you. Now, if it does happen, you just decrease your CDP by 2, 3, 4 centimeter of water, and you have to see an effect on your blood pressure. Otherwise, it's not your CDP. I hear too often people saying, yes, but I have blood pressure problem with my high CDP. Forget it. It's not the reason. As long as you don't prove it by challenging the blood pressure, decreasing CDP, you will not convince me. You see 98? That's a dramatic improvement. So we know there. So what we have to do just like if we were having given surfactant. We start to wean down our baby. By the way, blood pressure hasn't changed too much, and PCO2 hasn't changed too much. So what time is it now? 1 hour. You've seen all things that we have done in 1 hour? It's not that I want to convince you. I don't care if you use HFOV or conventional ventilation. It's just that if you use HFOV, use it properly. That's the only thing I like. Being careful, stepwise, pay attention, spend time bedside, have good monitoring system, train your nurse, it's a teamwork, and it will be very easy. And you see, only 2 bottoms. This one and this one. Now, we will see how the active alarm works. This bottom here, that is my optimal CDP. I will stay there for a while, so I want to have an active alarm. So I decrease the volume of the balloon there, and by turning to the left slowly. Okay, you see it start to decrease. Ah, not yet. Okay, here. I'm there, in this position here. So I just go a little bit to the right now. Doesn't work. Come on. Okay. So I'm there. So at this point, if I go too high, I will increase here the CDP, and we will see how high I can go before this valve is activating. You see? I cannot go further. No. What we can do is just to have a look on the chest like before. It's an appointment in Belgium. Yeah. Can we have a focus on the chest? Okay, you see a well visible chest vibration. Now we will see what's happening when we change the frequency. Again, I repeat, there is no reason in neonate to change the frequency, just for the fun. So, my thorax has disappeared.
Minta thorax lagi. Thorax saya.
Okay. So I go up from 10 up to 15. You just have a look on the screen. Not there. There. Okay? No, forget it. You see the difference?
Yeah.
Okay? You convinced? PCO2 is going to increase.
Did you decrease or up?
Increase.
Increase.
I increased 10 to 15. Okay?
Yeah.
You now go back to 10. Have a look there. Delta V is much more important there because it is slower, so longer time to get in and get out. So the tidal volume for the same delta P increase. So the PCO2 is going to decrease. Now, if you have an infant or a child and you use a 3100A and you need maximum of power, you have the maximum of delta P, you still have problems with PCO2, you decrease the delta P. Look at what happened. You see? Tidal volume is even much more important, so PCO2 further decrease. And it's dramatic. Rapid and dramatic. In neonates, there is no reason to change 10 Hertz. If you have a 500 gram baby who has a too low PCO2, you just decrease delta P down to 5 or 6. You can easily go down to, I will show you. You see? It's almost stopped. That's why he's crying. Come on. It's not me. Oh, that's there.
Saturation
Ah,
is
he's
going
getting
down.
he's getting sick. He doesn't like what I'm doing. Let's go up to 19. It's baby because I have done something. Okay, maybe I'm over the standing now.
That's okay.
It's okay, huh?
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
If you can go down to 8 or 10 of delta P, the baby is probably ready to be extubated. So, as we have a full-term neonate, we suspect that it's going to produce a surfactant and its compliance is going to be to keep improving. So I proactively decrease my CDP to wean down my baby. Okay?
Yes.
So let's go down to 16. And I have a look on the saturation to be sure that I'm not decreasing. And as long as I'm not decreasing my saturation, that I keep a good oxygenation, so I'm in 22% oxygen here, I keep decreasing. I cannot tell you how fast I can go. It's individual. You just have to test it. Without surfactant, it takes 2 or 3 days in a human prem. If you give surfactant, you have a first drop, dramatic drop, just after surfactant, and then for the next 24 hours. So you proactively decrease your CDP as long as your FiO2 stay low. And if your FiO2 has to increase, you are in trouble. You must think before acting. 3 things. Pneumothorax first. Overdistension second. You decrease your CDP by 3 to 4. And the baby getting sicker third. It's easy. All is the book. All is in the book. Okay, we are 98. It's better with that than with 17.5. So we should keep decreasing, no?
Yes, sir.
If I had injured the lung with HFOV, it wouldn't be easy to wean down as fast.
Karena udah maksimal.
He has normal lung and producing his own surfactant. And that's why it works so easily. If you have to wean down, you should try to wean down this kind of piglet after surfactant deficiency on conventional ventilation to be convinced. We like that very much, 99 of saturation.
Decrease more CDP.
Okay, let's go down to 14.
Why do you decreasing CDP by decreasing bias flow?
You're right. At this point, I could decrease here. You're right. It's because, but you're right. Around 15, if you have to increase your CDP, you have to work on flow if you have started with 10 liters. So you're right. Now that I'm 15, I can start to use this button. You're fully right. Do you have question? Other question? Are you still skeptical? The problem with adult people, I don't know if there are adult people here, or a pediatrician I see you.
Ya, 10.
You are.
Yang pertama.
They never do early intervention. It cannot work then. And if they do, they work on the injured lung, already injured lung. So it is less evident to see differences. I'm sure there are. But we should, to see difference, we should have a, and it doesn't exist, I haven't seen yet, we should randomize patient to be either on HFOV immediately at intubation, either on conventional ventilation. But what happens often is the study, the children or the adults are first conventionally ventilated, And after 2 days or 3, they are randomized. It's too late. I mean, we have further damaged the lung. So earlier you start, better it is. He was sick because we had a PIP of let's say 25, a PEEP of 500% oxygen, and the PCO2 was 83. So this was very sick piglet. Yeah.
After we have optimal lung volume, so we would like to winning. How about your experience? How long? When we winning, it is fast or still we wait a time?
Okay. Each baby is to be taken individually. You cannot generalize. When you are at optimal CDP, first you give your surfactant. So for the next 2 hours, you should have an improvement because of the surfactant. It takes an hour or 2. Then you are at a new optimal CDP, which is far lower than the initial CDP. Let's say if the initial CDP was 17, after surfactant you will be at 13, 12, even 11. You stay there for a while, and that's what I tell. Proactively, every 2 or 3 hours, as long as the baby stays at 21% oxygen or below 25, you decrease your CDP by 1 centimeter of water. And you wait 2-3 hours, and afterwards you decrease again. If the baby is in 21, that is because it's ready to be weaned down. So you further wean down. So how fast, I cannot tell you. It's really, you really have to be proactive. And if you are not proactive, if you wait too long, or if you do like we did 15 years ago, go to sleep and come back the next morning, then you will have an pneumothorax. Because you haven't weaned down fast enough. Okay? Hypoxemia is a sign of overdistension, so that you don't wean fast enough. The only case who was crossed over in the Provo study from HFOV to conventional ventilation was the case coming from our unit, where it needed to be handbagged because of a severe episode of hypoxemia related to overdistension. And it was weaned down too slowly.
Oh, that was because of overdistension.
Yeah, that was because of overdistension. Even at low level of CDP, you may, I didn't show you this example, that's too bad, but you may overdistend with a CDP of 7. And the highest CDP we used was in a PREM, 28 weeker, 1,000 gram, severe RDS, 3 doses of surfactant. And the highest CDP we used was 33. We need 33 to be in 21% oxygen. We need 33 to open correctly the lungs. He was extremely sick. So 33 doesn't overdistend, like 7 can overdistend. So it's depending on the compliance. You don't have the possibility of measuring compliance. So the only parameters that you have is oxygenation. You overdistend, oxygenation is decreasing. Okay, you see like he likes that?
Yes, the CO2
We go
is
further.
decreasing.
Pardon me?
The CO2 is decreasing.
The CO2 increase?
Decrease.
Decrease? You want less. You're right, because we went up to 21 and we don't need 21. And it's improving. If this delta P give this delta V. Okay? If I have the same delta P, I will have much higher delta V. So why I wind down the delta P will be too high. So I have to wind down that too. Keep this in mind. Think about area resistance and static compliance. Okay, let's wind down further. I'm speaking too much. I should pay attention. Yeah.
If we compare babies between HFO and conventional ventilator, how earlier we can extubate the baby if you use the HFO? If you use the early.
I didn't show you the results, but after having done the Provo study in 1994, 1995, it has been published in 1995, we were very happy because we stopped randomizing. So we stopped using conventional ventilation. We back to unique mode of ventilation was HFOV. We measured all parameters between 96 and 98, all included. Duration of ventilation went down to the baby below 32 weeks, down to 5. We were coming from 15. So there is a dramatic improvement. But I cannot tell you because it's at a moment where we started to use a surfactant. But definitely HFOV, now that we use HFOV plus nasal CPAP, it's even lower. The decrease is dramatic. It's just what I can tell you. I didn't have numbers. It's really depending on which kind of population you measure or you study.
Sorry, yeah. Did you mean that if you mix CPAP and HFOV,
Yeah.
and the duration of length of stay with the HFOV even slower?
Absolutely. Because
But
during
you have to start with the early CPAP also.
early CPAP or early HFOV. Anyway, you
Combine.
yes, I combine, and remember what I want is to keep good oxygenation in lower than 30%. So if the baby spontaneously breathing needs more than 30% oxygen, I will start CPAP. If he still have with good CPAP, he still needs more than 30, I will go to HFOV. Now it's quite often that I go directly on HFOV. Okay? I like better to go directly on HFOV because but the point is that it's easy for me to intubate. It's easy to manage because if the baby don't need HFOV, he won't need it for days. It will take a few hours. I'm not afraid for using that. That's why. But nasal CPAP, the result that I tell you about, 5 days on ventilation, was before we were routinely using CPAP. So we further improved when we started to use proper CPAP. We had a lot of resistance from nurses to use CPAP in our unit.
They want the HFOV.
They like that better, but it's more nursing. It's nasal CPAP. It's understandable. Just like transcutaneous PO2 and PCO2. Oh,
You're going
okay.
to
Keep going. No?
lower the CDP.
I'm sorry. I should turn this. Okay? Other question? You know, you have to do it yourself. Try, you'll see. When we started using this machine in the unit, before using this machine, we have used for a while a high frequency flow interrupter, which was commercialized by Bird company. And we used it a few times. Initially we were quite exciting, but we rapidly were afraid to keep using it. Because the most important point was we had really easily air trapping because of the system, but most important was that we had no way of monitoring what we were doing on the respirator. So it was just like if you had to work blindly. And 2 or 3 years afterwards, this machine came on the market, and we started to use in '92. And that was really different, amazing, but using it early. And so the nurses were very upset when we had to do the randomized study. When we had to go back once, every two babies, we had to put it on conventional ventilation. They were really upset about it. But we had the ethical committee